There are times where I do feel alone just because it's hard for anybody to understand. I'm not ready to say goodbye.
Another family member missing, another mother facing an uncertain future and an unknown reality. Her 19-year-old daughter moved to start a new life for herself to Atlanta, Georgia, and she disappeared only 13 days later. That was over 7 years ago. There are conflicting accounts of her last known whereabouts and a recent update that may change the entire course of this investigation. It's time to turn on the searchlight for Morgan Bauer. Welcome back to Brain Scratch Searchlight. I'm John Lorden. Thank you so much for caring about these cases like I do. Morgan Erin Bauer was born to Sherry Keenan on April 13, 1996. She grew up in Aberdeen, South Dakota, and graduated from Central High School. Aberdeen is the third most populous city in South Dakota, with a population of over 28,000 people as of the 2020 census, offering many different activities to occupy your time, as well as the wide open vistas that the Dakotas are known for. You'd think that most people could find happiness there. However, 19-year-old Morgan was looking for more than she felt she could find in her hometown. Morgan was a free spirit who commanded any room that she entered. Her mother described her as charismatic with a gentle heart. After her graduation in 2014, all Morgan could think of was leaving that hometown. She wanted to live in a big city, and she was determined to make that happen. In 2016, she was finally ready to make her dreams come true. On February 12th, she packed up her belongings and left Aberdeen. Her mother didn't want her to go, but Morgan was determined. With only $20 in cash that she borrowed from a friend, Morgan caught a ride with another friend to Minnesota, where she then caught a flight to Atlanta, Georgia. Her mother wasn't sure why she decided on Atlanta, but tried to support Morgan's decision in the best way that she could. Morgan was usually posting and talking to her friends and family on social media, so her mother knew that she'd at least be able to stay connected with her and talk to her regularly. Sherry was told that Morgan would be rooming with two other roommates in their own home. But in fact, Morgan had actually found a man on Craigslist that agreed to let her stay in his home. The agreement was that she could stay there rent-free if she would clean the house and do chores until she found her own job, saved up enough money, and moved out to her own place. But as we see far too often in these cases, those plans would not come to pass. On the second day she was there, her living arrangement took a dramatic turn. When she came back after job hunting, she found all of her possessions outside of the house with a note that said, "Don't come back." Her mother said Morgan panicked. She only had the $20 that she had taken with her, although she was expecting some more money to come in soon. Her taxes had been filed and her return was going to be loaded onto an H&R Block card. Now, we're not exactly sure how, but it seems that Morgan was able to find a hotel room, or at least she told her best friend that she would be staying in a hotel room. The conflicting stories only start here. Sherry has said that on the night of the 25th, Morgan was dancing at a strip club called Top in Gainesville, which is just over an hour away from Atlanta. Earlier that day, she had applied at another club called Tease that was in Atlanta. She said in her post on social media that she had been hired. However, both businesses deny that she ever worked there. The owner stated that Morgan didn't have the proper paperwork to be a dancer in Georgia. However, there's even a wrinkle in that part of the story. In order to not only be an exotic dancer in the state, but to even work at an adult entertainment club, you must first purchase an adult entertainment permit. This goes for the owner, bartenders, DJs, security, even the dishwashers. She obviously didn't have one. However, the Atlanta Police Department states that you need to get hired before submitting your application. The permits are issued per person and per their agreement with that particular establishment. So it wouldn't be out of the norm for her to be hired and not yet have that permit. It's also been reported that when Morgan applied for a job at Tees, she applied with a coworker from Top. The coworker said that Morgan offered to buy her an adult entertainment license as well. Was Morgan planning on purchasing both her and her friend's permit when her tax return came in? It's possible, but we can't find any public information confirming A, if that money ever came in, and B, if it did come into that H&R Block card, was it ever accessed? At the time of her disappearance, everyone thought that February 25th, 2016 was the last night that Morgan was in contact with her family or friends and the last day that she had posted to any of her social media accounts. On March 12th, Sherry filed a missing persons report with Atlanta PD after she was unable to contact Morgan. At this point, investigators take over and were able to fill in a little more of her timeline. They were able to show that her phone last pinged in the Yellow River Park in Porterdale. The unnamed coworker we mentioned previously also lived in Porterdale. A small search was conducted in the area that her phone last pinged at, but nothing was found. When the coworker and her boyfriend were questioned, they stated that they took Morgan to a Citgo gas station a short distance away in Covington. They both said that she got into a green Mitsubishi Eclipse car with an unknown male. They drove off, and they never saw her again. Investigators also found some disturbing posts from the coworker that correspond to the time around when Morgan disappeared. In one post on Facebook, the woman tags her boyfriend with a meme that says, "Bob likes to kill, Bob kills for fun." Since Morgan's disappearance, this couple has separated and now live in two different states. Investigators haven't been able to find any direct evidence of foul play in Morgan's disappearance. There have been no confirmed sightings of her. Her cell phone has never been found, hasn't been turned on again. None of her social media accounts have been updated in any way. No one's ever applied for a job using her name or social security number. Morgan Bauer simply vanished after being dropped off at that gas station. Now, her mother, Sherry, has flown to Georgia to look for her daughter and at one point even hired a private investigator. Unfortunately, finding great private investigators is far more difficult than you might hope. In Sherry's own words, the investigator, quote, hindered and deteriorated her search and used up valuable resources. Sherry has also put up a billboard, handed out thousands of flyers, and works with local news outlets as well as missing persons organizations to help keep the search for Morgan alive. To also help her cope, Sherry has started the Missing Morgan Facebook page to bring awareness to her case and others. Today, she has thousands of members, and she helps these other families dealing with a similar situation, a situation that none of them want to be in. But unfortunately, Sherry has some experience with. Quote, having a place for people to connect and just not feel so alone, where they can share their family members and other people can share, is something. If we can't find Morgan, maybe we can help somebody else find their child, she said. In February of 2023, Sherry was able to take a piece of the puzzle to investigators that might change the course of this investigation. Although Morgan's Instagram is locked so only her friends can see her posts, one of those friends sent a screenshot of one to Sherry. It showed that Morgan posted a video on the 26th of February, a day after she last made contact with her friends and family. The video shows Morgan in a park, and there is a man walking behind her. There's only a few frames of this man that have been publicly released. Here is a still image I was able to grab. I'm also wondering if this is the same park that her phone pinged at, the Yellow River Park. Quote, this changes the entire timeline of events, her mother Sherry would say. It also changes the last person known to have seen Morgan. I contacted Morgan's detectives. They hadn't heard any different dates other than the 25th either, her mother said. No one has any idea where the video was taken or who that man in it is. At a minimum, this is certainly a person that should be interviewed about her case. And if you don't believe the coworker and the boyfriend's timeline, maybe this video is one of the actual last sightings of Morgan. For now, Her family holds candlelight vigils in Morgan's honor regularly and keeps working to raise awareness to her case. Sherry still holds out hope that her daughter is alive, but is now afraid that she may have been trafficked. Every day, Sherry feels her daughter's loss. Quote, "People probably can't understand what it feels like to have days turn into weeks, into months, and then years, and to every day want to do your best, but feel like you're failing, not knowing how you can help your child." Sherry has also vowed to never stop looking. Here's another quote from her. "I just don't want her to be forgotten because she's so amazing. Even if this is the end of her story, it wasn't the beginning. Her life matters." Morgan Erin Bauer's NamUs file states that she stands around 5 foot 6 inches tall and weighs around 125 pounds. She has blue eyes and brown hair. Her ears are gauged and her lip is pierced twice on the right side. Her belly button is also pierced. Morgan has several tattoos, a sun and moon on her chest near her right shoulder inside a Celtic compass design, an anchor with, quote, "Whatever you love can be taken away, so live like it's your dying day." That's on her left wrist. A blue-orange jellyfish on her arm from her inner wrist to elbow, a black tree of life with tiny flowers on the back of her neck, and script saying, "It's in herself she will find the strength she needs," on her left hip. There is unfortunately no clothing description for what she was last seen wearing. A $10,000 reward is being offered by the family. Anyone with information about Morgan's case is asked to contact Atlanta Police's Missing Person Unit by calling the number on the screen right now, 404-546-4235. Callers can remain anonymous. You can also reach the family's 24-hour tip line at 1-855-MORGAN-B. That's 1-855-667-4262. Since 2015, we have always run limited commercial ads for the benefit of you, the viewers, and the families that we're trying to help in these cases. Obviously, we can't do that without support. A big thank you goes to new patron Sin Gold. If you'd like to help, please visit LordanArts.com. There you can sign up for Patreon, sign up for PayPal, buy merchandise, or even just buy us a coffee like Wheatfields recently did. We really appreciate your support on our mission to run as few ads as possible and help as many families as we can. Thank you, 11alive.com, dakotanewsnow.com, thesun.com, NamUs, aberdeennews.com, nbcnews.com, HuffPost, storiesoftheunsolved.com, and Wikipedia for information contributing to today's case. Also, a big thank you to everyone that is supporting Sherry's efforts to not only find Morgan, but help these other families with missing loved ones as well. We'll have a link to the Missing Morgan Facebook page down below, so please take a moment, join that group, and show your support while you're staying up to date on the latest developments in this case. There is also an ActiveChange.org petition asking for more to be done in this investigation and pointing out that the coworker and her ex-boyfriend have never been formally cleared as suspects in this case. Please take a moment to review that as well and sign that petition if you'd like to help. Let's keep those eyes, ears, and hearts open and looking for Morgan Bauer. I'll see you here again soon on the LordanArts channel.